Hi, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today, I'm going to use this gorgeous stamp set from Hero Arts, and it is called Summer Bouquet. It is so pretty. I just am now noticing there's a bow. How did I miss that? I might have to go back and add that onto my card later, but I've already taken pictures, so who knows? Maybe I'll just have to make another one. But this bouquet is very big and it's perfect for an A2 size card. So my white piece of paper that I have on my Misty is an A2 size. So you can kind of gauge the scale there. If you are interested, you could probably put two of these ladies on a 5x7 if that's your jam. There are coordinating dies for this set, so you can cut out the gal. You can also cut out the sentiments, and apparently you can also cut out the bow that I totally spaced, but that's fine. So basically I'm going to be cutting them out. So I am going to position some extra sentiments just around because I always like to have extra sentiments on hand, and if I'm going through the trouble of the steps of stamping and die cutting, you might as well do a couple extra, right? It's all about the batching. You wouldn't bake one single chocolate chip cookie. Oh no, you would bake a sheet full, 12 of them. So why not apply that to sentiments if there's room on the paper? So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this out with Copic friendly ink. I'm using Black Memento. It's my go-to for my Copic coloring. And I've recently re-inked this, so it's a little bit juicy, and that's all right. And I'm using Copic color friendly paper as well. And the paper I'm using is from Pajama Crafter Stamps. It's called Marshmallow. It's very good for Copic coloring, and it gets me a nice area for blending. So I really appreciate that. But this card, the exciting part about this card is the die and the background. So if Copic coloring is not your jam, that's all right. You're going to want to see the background because the background, I don't know. I kind of like the background just as much as the stamp. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you think. I pull in from my stash and using a stencil from Hero Arts as well. Good thing I used my Misty because I was not stamping this all the way. You can see the bouquet still has a little bit of white areas. I was mildly distracted when I was working on this card, to say the very least. But that's okay because I can restamp it and it's going to be just as gorgeous. The thing I like about this stamp set is that you can color it any color and it can be for different occasions. And I really think that this would be gorgeous for wedding or like a wedding shower, bridal shower, some kind of like a ladies event, you know? So I'm going to go with yellow and blue because of my background. And I did my background after, but I had a plan for my background and it's going to be blue. So cue in the 90s music. If you know, you know. Anyway, yeah, but you could color this any color. So if you're going to a wedding or if you know of someone who's getting married or having a birthday, color the flowers and the shoes and the little outfit, whatever color that person might like. And you've got a very quick and easy card. This stamp is so big that it is perfect for filling the space. And you really don't have to think too much. Sometimes we have days, at least I do, where you just think, I just want to craft and I don't want to have to coordinate and put together things. Just color, you know? With that being said, you could also watercolor this stamp. You could use colored pencils. You don't have to use alcohol markers, but today I am. I'm keeping it very simple for this card because it's going to be a kind of like a bridal card is what I was going for with this one. So I'm keeping it very simple with greenery, shocker, and some blue, mostly blue flowers and then pops of yellow. And then that is going to be coordinating with my shoes. Although I am going to use the sentiment that is the birthday one. So just forget I said anything about bridal, but maybe you know a bride who's having a birthday. Who knows? Some people really lean into that bride identity really hard. So maybe that's someone who needs a card. This is my go-to green combination. It's YG67, and YG03. They're my favorite greens. I think it gives such a great contrast with the tone on tone with the light and the dark. It's just so good. Now, I just want to briefly mention there's a lot of really cute things that have come out from Hero Arts this July. This is just one single stamp set. So I encourage you to check that out. I will have this stamp set and then a link to the new arrivals from Hero Arts down in the description. And you can check it out for yourself. But there's also a really wonderful, like a harbor stencil. And I'm going to do a whole video about that because it is just so good to not do a video with. There's just some sets that I just think, oh, I have to do a tutorial on this because someone's going to want to know how I made it. So there you go. Not every card gets a video, but that stencil is so good. And I think it would coordinate really well with the Hero Studio, which is the subscription from Hero Arts. And I did do a show and share on that for this month of July because I will be receiving those from Hero Arts and making projects with them, at least 6 a month. So if you're interested, be sure to subscribe and stick around. Hero Arts is really becoming one of those staple companies in my craft room because they are kind of under the umbrella of Spellbinders, and I love Spellbinders, so it's just natural. And I've always admired their items. Even when I first started crafting, I did grab a few of their card kits way long time ago, 5-6 years ago. That almost doesn't even sound that long ago, but it also feels like yesterday. But I've always liked their things, so I'm very happy to have more Hero Arts in my craft room. Now, you can go really amazing and crazy with your shading. I keep it really simple most of the time with my Copic coloring, unless I'm really diving into like an intricate floral. But I find that having 1 or 2 Copic colors for what I'm working with is usually great for me. But maybe you're just a 1 color Copic person, or maybe you're a 5 colors for the shoes, just all the tones of yellow. That's great. And like I said, I think this stamp is a great size, so it would be perfect for practicing shading if you want to color her outfit and practice folding, like folds on fabric. I'm keeping her outfit very white, but as my friend Joy Wilson says, who is a very amazing Copic colorist, she says and reminds me that white still has a shadow. So I like to grab my cool tone Copics when I'm coloring anything that's white and just adding a little bit of shadow, and especially on the folds of the fabric where there might be a little shadow. But it's really light and it doesn't need to be anything that's like very aggressive. You could also make polka dots. You could do a mask of the flowers and do like a patterned paper on her skirt. So there's options here for the dies that I just wanted to show. So there's one that cuts out the whole gal, one that cuts out just the hands and the bouquet. So you could even just do that. And then there's also one that just cuts out the flowers. So if you wanted, you could go really cool with this and pop up each layer, and it would have 3 layers, 4 if you count the card base. So really interesting and just really elegant, I think. Now let's get into the background. This is where I just went really crazy. I'm going to make a mess, so if that bothers you, here's your warning. All right, I'm going to grab some Distress Oxide spray, and I'm using watercolor paper because it's nice and thick and it's going to hold up to all the things I'm putting this poor paper through here. And I'm spraying right onto my glass mat. I know some people are probably cringing. It can stain. I know, it's fine. this is a crafty space and I don't mind if it gets a little messy. I do kind of just tidy up as I go, but it doesn't have to be perfect, you know? And now I'm going to grab some acrylic spray from Hero Arts. This is the opaque white. I like to just unscrew the lid and just do this tapping motion with the little wand that's inside. And it's really wet. My paper's really wet from that spray. So it's going to just like spread around and be very abstract blobbish. And that's a-okay with me. Now, I am going to tap it on my scissors too to get some smaller taps. And this is really a treat because I rarely do this on my desk. Anytime that I'm doing a splatter, I usually either take it outside or I put it in my scrap bin, which is like my recycling bin, or I will take it to my kitchen and do it over my recycling bin in my kitchen. I know. I just don't like to have splatter everywhere, and it usually gets like right on the lens of my camera. So this is a little bit odd, but you know, I am an impulsive crafter. Sometimes I just go for it. All right, I'm going to let this dry. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to take my heat tool and make it dry. That's a little tip that you can use. And if you're impatient like me and you want your project to finish, it will kind of dry a little bit more lightly. So I'm not finished with this background. So if you're looking at it going, girl, that looks ugly, that's okay. It's going to get better, I promise. I really think this is fun, and I think this is a great way to make galaxy backgrounds. Just imagine if I had black paper here with a distress spray, maybe even 1 or 2 colors, and then just did that simple white splatter over it. Boom, you have the Milky Way all done. And yes, I said Milky Way, not Milky Way. Trying to work on that Minnesota accent. If I were to redo this, I definitely would not use my heat tool right over where I have all of that acrylic spray right on my glass mat. But you live and you learn. It's part of life. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side and just clean up a teeny bit, and we will be right back. Next, I'm going to take this little gift that I got as a free gift from one order that I did with, what is it called? Scrapbook.com. It's Astro Paste from Simon Hurley, and this is the Clear Skies. It's going to go on a little bit cloudy, but when it dries, it's just this bright, gorgeous blue glitter. So you'll see that in the video as the project dries, but I'm just kind of swiping it on, nothing too crazy with my palette knife, and just kind of putting it wherever I feel. Still kind of keeping that area of a diagonal line going from the bottom to the top. But my next layer that I put on really just ties the background all together. So I'm just kind of getting that blue all over. And this Astro Paste is water-based, I'm fairly certain. So the Distress Oxide Spray is kind of picking it up a little, and that's just fine. Just so you know, to figure it out, I would mention it. And then you can see my cute little gal over there. She's just being so patient, waiting for her background to be ready. Then I'm going to take this gorgeous stencil, also from Hero Arts. I will link it down below. But it's a part of a multiple layer stencil set. And I'm just taking the most intricate stencil layer. And I'm going to use some paste from Altenew that is just so gorgeous. It's the Shimmer Relief Paste, and I'm using silver. I'll just use it on my Altenew stamp wheel grid. Nothing too fancy. You can see I am getting messy. Anyway, this will just stick right on to my project. I'm just going to tilt it because I was feeling like that was the right move at the time. And I'll just adhere it to my sticky mat. I'm going to use that same palette knife. That one happens to be from Spellbinders. And I'm just going to kind of swoosh it down and just do swishing moments, being really gentle. The stencil is secure, thank goodness, to the grip mat. But you just kind of push it down a little bit, kind of being really gentle. You don't want to push it and have the stencil bubble up because the paste will get where you don't want it to go. So like I said, just be gentle. You You can add more. You can always scrape this back into the container if you use too much. It's, as long as you keep the lid on, it should stay fairly damp. There we have it. Now this paste is just so gorgeous because it is like a 3D medium. So when I take the stencil off, it's going to have a raised effect, and it's just so gorgeous. And this silver is perfect for working with blue colors because it has kind of a blue purpley undertone to it. So I'll just put that back where it belongs, and then I'll do the peel and reveal and just wait and see how gorgeous this is. This is like the perfect birthday card that I would have loved to have as a bride, although my birthday was not anywhere close to my wedding. There's a look at that shimmer relief paste for you. They have a lot of colors, by the way, so I like to have different kind of pastes in my craft room. I have that Astro paste from Simon Hurley. I've got Lunar paste, all the pastes, right? Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's just so shiny. I wish I could pass this through the screen to you so you could see it and feel it with your own little crafty hands. Yours are probably cleaner than mine at this point. All right, I'm going to set this on my paste lid just to dry, and I'll clean up my mat, and there is what it looks like when it's all dry. Very crazy background with a simple lady dress. It all works, right? I did add foam behind my gal and behind my sentiment, and I end up kind of doing my own thing with the sentiment, so we'll just set that off to the side for a minute and we'll come back to it. But I would like to encourage you to join my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called Stationery Maker Group, and it is a great place for sharing all of your cards. So if you're a card maker like me, or if you're just starting out and you want inspiration from me and others, go ahead and check out the Stationery Maker Group. I have it linked down in the description, or check out my Instagram. I have all of the cards that I do videos with or that I am sharing online, I will put on Instagram too. So if you want a pretty picture that's not a video of any of the cards that I make, go ahead and check out Stationery by Justine on Instagram and you can see it there. I would love to see what you're making, and I hope that you gain inspiration from others too. There's just so many good things out there, and if you're going to be online, you might as well be looking at cards. I said what I said. All right. Now, my sentiment I did snip because I wanted it to be down by my little gal's ankles. So it was a long sentiment, and I just snipped it and made it work with the project. Tim Gunn would be so happy. Make it work, people. Now I am adding this foam onto my project. Looking back, I probably should have added some liquid glue. I use these foam strips that are cheap. We'll just put it that way. They're good, not great. And for a background that has texture like this, I would recommend using some liquid glue with the foam. So just know that for later. But I'm going to finish off this card with some flat back pearl gems, and I think I'm going to end up doing 5. Now on camera you really cannot see them because the background is a little bit wild. Just kidding, it looks like I'm doing 7. 8. What? Why did I do 8? I don't know. It's fine, it's all good. But in person you can see them rather well, and it just adds to the fun sparkle texture that this card has going on. So it all works out. I would like to hear what you think about this card in the comments. So if you have anything that you would like to say, or if you have any tips about anything I worked on today, we can all learn from each other. So go ahead and let me know what you think, or if you have tips in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video or learned anything, please hit the like button. That really does help my channel. And most of the links down in the description are affiliate links. So if you use those, it really does help my channel in a really small way, but it does help. So I thank you for doing that if you are going to be shopping for some crafty goodies today. All right, I'm going to put my little pearl lid on, and I'll give you one last kind of look at this card But I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Come back next week for another Hero Arts card. It's going to be with that Harbor stencil. So thank you again. We'll see you later. Bye, crafty friend.